very, very busy stylist. And I was training for Aveda, and then I went and rented and continued with Aveda for a while. And then I started to transition in my thoughts, and I was starting to get sick. I went home with migraines, loss of appetite. And at that time, I was studying for functional medicine. And I was in this weird juxtapose where I wasn't sure if I wanted to change industries, because I really, really loved hormones and, women's health. And I remember sitting in a classroom with Rob Rakowski, who's a top functional medicine educator. And it wasn't related to my industry at all, but he was putting all of these ingredients into a blender. And it was a vaccine. And then he blended them up and he basically showed what goes into a vaccine. And I knew at that time just how not only environmental toxicity was an issue, but then the pharmaceutical world and in the slew of chemicals that we live in is going to be an issue. And at that point in time, I'm like totally done. As clean as the Aveda is, in which it's really not, as clean as they say it is, and that's mostly because Estee Lauder bought them out over 25 years ago. I knew I wanted to make a change, and so I did. And so 12 years ago, I created one of the nation's first organic salons and never looked back. So basically, I'm the founder of Beauty Ecology. I'm an obsessive formulator. I formulate all my own products, hair care, skin care, CBD. I have a background in functional medicine. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist and a biofeedback practitioner. And what that means is I help the mind, the body, and the spirit kind of come into alignment. I really view women as a whole package, and that there's nothing wrong with us. We're very much whole the way we are, and just how can we accent that. And then I am the host of the Awaken Beauty podcast. Now you'll find a lot of really great information, a lot of quantum science interviews that I've been doing over the last week. So I do encourage you to go there. And so the story is that not all color is created equal. And what I always tell women is that you are your best asset. We have to tell ourselves we are our own best asset, and we don't want to be a liability. And so the nuances of box dye are many, and when you're trying to shop them. And so what we're going to go over is how to choose the right color for your skin, what ingredients should be avoided at all costs, and how stress increases hair loss, and how to defend your hair from hair loss, and spring hair trends to kind of uplift your spirits and kind of get you thinking ahead on how you can make a shift if you want. So most women color their hair on an average of every 4 to 8 weeks. So the color process and home care products are extremely important. And we talk about the body burden. We talk about kind of our bodies as a bathtub. And if we don't have a drain emptying, whether that's our liver is working properly or our hormones are working properly, we become basically a overflowing bathtub of toxins. That's when allergens happen. That's when we have increased risk of disease. And so when you're if you are shopping for hair color, you want to look for the sum total of unadulterated natural ingredients that are basically in the integrity of what that company says they are and what they do. And so when you're looking at an ingredient deck, just like, skincare or what have you, we really want to look at the ingredient placement. So from top to bottom, if it's filled with water and mineral oil and, acetyl alcohol at the top, there's really not a lot of really natural ingredients in there. They're put in at the bottom with a lot of fillers. And so even natural hair color can give you an allergic reaction because of the embodiment of the ingredient deck. Now, many, many hair color lines have come onto the market and are now ammonia free. But the problem with that is that what is the silent substitute that they put in, just like sugar? What is that silent substitute that they put in to replace the ammonia? And we'll talk about that in the upcoming slides of what ammonia is and what it does. So for example, and I'm not here to demonize any other color line, because I respect everybody and what their view of artistic and creativity and how to get their results. But to give you an example, Aveda is 98% naturally derived. So I've had a lot of conversations with color companies, the CEOs. Tell me your perspective on this or that. And they all basically come to the same conclusion that it doesn't matter what's in there. It's based on what is the what is the end result when you put all those ingredients together and they're adulterated? So even though they're natural ingredients, they've been kind of like PUFAs when we hear in the, um, you know, Megan can kind of chime in on this, is basically when you burn an oil, you get AGEs. These glycation end products are carcinogen. So if we're burning our oil, it then is not really too healthy for us inside our body. Same thing for hair color. So that's the analogy there. And then also, just like formaldehyde, this is also a big industry issue, especially in our industry, and it's also in your products at home, is that there's aldehyde donors, and you're not familiar with them because they're not going to say formaldehyde. And so when these are mixed and when chemicals or heat is applied, that's when you have the off-gassing, and that's when you have the toxicity. And so box dyes usually are formulated for, the harshest, strongest peroxide that they can find, because they're really treating as anybody that walks that shelf and goes down that aisle. It could be a woman that's African American. It could be a woman that's Asian. It could be a woman that's white and has really delicate hair. They have to create a product that is so high performing that's going to drive through any cuticle, meaning it's going to be very strong, and it's going to be probably really damaging to the hair, especially over time, because of this issue. And we also see a lot of scalp itching, inflammation long term because of that issue. Box dyes vary on staining the hair. And so what do I mean by this? A lot of color companies, I won't say cut the corner, but how they will formulate is that they will put in, ooh, awesome, I'm getting some feedback. So they will put in dyes and stains together. So what? The stains are kind of like a cheap way of you getting like that really beautiful kind of glossy color right when you wash it out. But then 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, it's really fading and you're not having the results that you first got. Well, it's got fillers, and then it also has stains in there so that they can kind of make up for non-pure pigmented or pre-oxidated dyes than what we use in professional hair color. So you're kind of getting a half and half of some stains and some pigment put into a box. And then the developer, you know, we choose what developer we want to use on your hair. Now there's a developer between 5% and up to 40%. And there's even up to 50% in my enzyme line, because it has more healthy integrity to the line. So when you're shopping at the store, you're going to get a developer. If you want blonde, you're going to get a blonde, and then it's probably going to have a 10 or a 30 developer in with it. As a professional, I can look at your color and say, okay, what clients don't understand is that I'm at a base and I can only lift you 4 levels. I can take you down to a black, but I can only lift you 4 levels. So if you're wanting to go to the store and you're feeling like it's spring and the sun is shining and it's awesome out, the thing is, if you lift 4 levels and you're level 6, which is like a medium brown, you're going to be really orange. Because in chemistry, when you're lifting the hair color up, you only get to a remaining pigment that's going to be orange. I have to lift you at least another 2 levels to get you that bright blonde that you want to have. So that's where a lot of stylists make a lot of money, because they have color corrections come in of looking at a box thinking, oh cool, I want that color, and it just doesn't turn out that way. It's just not practical unless you understand the science of color chemistry. So what I want to go through then is these top 3, but there are more ingredients to look for. Now, like I said, ammonia is very much an industry standard now to be ammonia free. And Mastay, the first color line that I started with and I educated for over 5 years, was the first company to come out with an ammonia-free hair color line. And they made that decision based on the integrity of the hair and the health of the hair, not political. So we very much know that it damages the hair, but also it has the toxicity factor to it. So what does ammonia do? Ammonia basically opens up the cuticle so that we can go in and deliver the pigment into the hair shaft. And then we need it to close back down. So in whether it's a harsher professional line or it's a box dye, you know, Mon, you can go in, slap the cuticle open, try to push it in, and it's those hair color boxes that say 10 minutes and done, that's all you need to process. Well, that's fine, but it's also going to be very harsh on the hair. And when you're slapping open the cuticle like that and expecting the cuticle closed all the way, it's just not as practical. And so you have a cuticle that's left open consistently, just leaking out your hair color and your money. So it increases the hair porosity, which weakens it, causes frizz, split ends, and color fading. Also the exposure to fumes. So this is where the toxicity, the cancer, the bladder cancer rates come up for hairstylists. Resorcinol. Now, many color lines say they're ammonia-free, but then they also put resorcinol in there, and it's a coloring agent, and it's commonly found in also topical acne treatments. So it's a suspected endocrine toxicity. It's also to be harsh on the immune system, break down the immune system, and suspected to be a toxic component that we deliver into the beautiful wildlife. Now, let alone the oceans, there are found multitudes of hair color just spilling into the ocean because these chemicals, they don't break down. So that's why we want to be very choosy on what we're putting on our body. So PPD, now PPD is, raise your hand if, I'm sure everybody here has heard of PPD, because this is the #1 allergen that if you go to a derm, they say, well, make sure it's just PPD free. And they think that everybody's allergies are going to clear up if it's PPD free. Again, it has silent substitutes. It also, isn't the main allergen in hair color anymore. And I'll speak a little bit more on that in a moment. But basically, it causes the most reaction rates. It's a carcinogen, and often you're going to see reddening, swelling of the face. I've had clients, even with natural hair color lines, or tell me stories that, their whole eyelids are swollen shut. Their whole face blows up. It's severe, and it's very, very, very dangerous. And many, many women will call me across the nation and say, oh my God, I just started having an allergy to my hairstylist and her hair color. Why and what can I do about it? And so, of course, I can, do some fact finding with them. But when the body is a toxic body burden, we have cross-reactive proteins in our bodies, or it could be some other reaction or some other reason, but you either one, sensitized to the chemical, or you have a cross-reactive protein where you got all these different things going on, and boom, adding one more thing with another thing in the body at that time is going to cause an allergen. So there are many, many reasons. Now, on the bottom here, you will see that it is linked to cancer, and that women who had colored their hair once a month for 15 years or more had 50% higher risk of bladder cancer, while hair colorists who had been working with color for more than 15 years had a 5-fold risk of getting bladder cancer compared to the general population. So let's talk about solutions. Let's smile and talk about solutions. So when a minus equals a positive, women are now absolutely chemically conscious about what's in their hair color. And they will often ask their hairstylist, like, are you doing natural? And they will say organic. And I will say right now, and I'll repeat myself twice, there is no such thing as organic hair color. I'll repeat myself. There is no such thing as organic hair color. It's not possible, because we need a chemical reaction in the hair color. Now, I will be guilty and sometimes slip up and say we have organic hair color. It's natural and plant-based. So moving on, we are going to address another situation that was one of the main reasons I walked into never going back to chemicals again, is that I had women coming into my salon that were newly pregnant and found me as a safe place for them. And when I partnered with my first color line and started educating for them and started learning the greenwashing terms and what they put in and substitute as far as pulling all these things out and then what they put in, here's the kicker: you can't smell it. So it's still there, you just can't smell it. So stylists are being duped because not all of them are going to do the research like I do. And hair color companies are absolutely cheating their consumer, because someone may be, a client may be pregnant a client may be post-cancer. A client may have anaphylactic shock if they get reaction to a chemical, and they're releasing it into the color line, and they're, kind of hiding it. And that made me outrageously angry. And so, there's greenwashing in every industry, especially also in hair color. So I also focus on hair aging. And so my whole line, evoquebeauty.com, evoquebeauty.com, is made for anti-aging hair. Now, I don't use that in anti-aging where it's all facade. What I'm saying is that we're always heating, using products where, our hair and our scalp ages. So how can we keep that in the best shape as we age as women? Most of my clients are 35 plus. I am seeing an epidemic of hair loss. And so over time, I'm seeing kind of how hair has aged in my chair and here frequently, and I'm sure you can speak to this, women, ladies, that my hair has changed. My texture isn't the same. My hair is now curly, or my hair is now flat and straight. There's a reason to that. Chemicals, natural moisturizing factor in our hair and our skin starts to break down, and our telomeres, the telomerase, start to shorten. So every product of ours really focuses on making sure that we're lengthening the growth phase with our Root Revival Tonic, and then also making sure that we're replenishing the fatty acids and the proteins in equal proportions to make sure we make up for aging hair. So our hair color is Ageless Beauty Ecology Natural Hair Color is ammonia, resveratrol, gluten, MEA, and PPD free. It has lipids in it and a lot of fatty acids and other really beautiful exotic ingredients, wild crafted ingredients to add shine and luminosity back to the hair. You will get 100% gray coverage. Now, for a client to say, I don't get gray coverage, I will say this: it's not applied right, or you're not using the right color or the right color application. And there's nuances to gray hair, and there's absolutely a science and a chemistry to making sure that it's the right tone for you, because gray hair has no melanin in it. Sometimes it has no pigment in it. So we're really trying to hope and pray that that gray hair with no melanin is going to hang on to those pigments for an extended amount of time. I get 100% gray coverage, which is great. It's going to soften the frizz, removes the chemicals. It's fade free because we had the proteins, and then the Evoke products then match the pH and help keep the color in. It's very multidimensional. Box dyes are going to be very flat because you're combining sometimes a stain or a pigment. And so it just ends up really flat. The other problem with box dye is it's going to be flat, or you're going to end up red or orange. So that's often what happens, especially with Aveda. What I found is that it ended up really brassy. And I think they've updated their line and done a lot of, cooling that down. But my color line is based on, I won't get too much in the chemistry, but we put every accurate pigment and build it up so that there's all pigments in the color line versus just trying to force load a certain color. So it's very multidimensional and very, very systematic in how we build our colors. So, there's all different kind of damage to our hair. I'll set aside just hair color. And so the shower, let's talk about some of the key assaults in our hair. Let's go into Mission Impossible here. And your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to use Evoke Beauty hair care solutions. You won't have these issues because we've got a solution to every single one of these. And the shower, hard water, and chemicals in hair is the #1 assault on hair color. And, whether it's chlorine or well water or what have you, we're constantly opening up the cuticle, and those kind of different ionic pluses and minuses attach to the hair and, pour out our hair color. So we want to really make sure that we're using the right products in the shower and then right after the shower. Products obviously build up. When clients say that they have to change their shampoo every 2 months because like their hair gets really used to it, it's not possible. Basically that's, even if you're going to Whole Foods or you're going to the co-op, those stores are going to have a lot of $8 shampoos, but they're really filled with a ton of glycerin and a ton of fatty acids and coconut oil, and they just get really heavy. So they're going to lay on your hair and really condition it because it's a lot of fatty acids, but then your hair just gets really heavy. And over time, if you change your shampoo, you're going to notice difference because you're taking off different products from the cuticle integrity being folded down and full of different additives to the cuticle. UV damage. So our Treat and Protect spray helps with that. Medications and birth control. I just put this in there because, medications and birth control very much change your hormones, and this will change your hair. And then hair loss. So hair loss is caused by internal and external stressors. No surprise there. But what I find is that a lot of these minoxidil, finasteride, all of those, they're very harsh. They do have side effects, especially over a long period of time. And they cause inflammation. What's the root of hair loss? Inflammation, right? So I believe women over 35, I see an epidemic of hair loss going on right now, and it's not slowing down. Women are losing their hair because of chronic stress, autoimmune diseases, and other complications. And so I developed the Root Revival Activator about 6 years ago. It is a by far super awesome spray that you would just use 3 times a week, and it's 2 times more powerful than minoxidil. And I have absolute research and studies and pictures to show that. It's very powerful, non-toxic, and it does not leave any residue on your scalp. You can put it on and blow dry your hair and go. The other thing that I would recommend to look at when you're having hair loss, and this is something right now, is I always tell women, look 3 months ago. What did you experience 3 months ago that possibly caused your body a large amount of shock? And there's a delayed effect with hair loss, and then sometimes it's immediate. And so the other things are going to be hormones. Number one thing is hormones, also insulin resistance. If you have insulin resistance, your body does not have the energy to basically send the glucose out and give your body energy to grow your hair or have beautiful skin. So Dutch test, I absolutely, I had Carrie from the Dutch test on my podcast, the Awaken Beauty podcast a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to be airing that. She does a phenomenal job of saying why you need to do the Dutch test, because as women, we really need to understand how our hormones are being metabolized and what pathways they're going down so that we can understand, well, are we getting an offset of androgens, which, elevates our DHT, which then clogs the cuticle and the scalp and then causes miniaturization, which then basically makes your follicles go dead and never come back. So hormone tests, gut health, microbiome, and for women, making sure you're getting adequate protein, and that's a sensitive subject with the keto, and all of that can be a sensitive subject, because I've seen a lot of women do keto and lose a lot of hair because the body, whatever you're doing with your diets, it is a form of stress on the body. So you really want to make sure that you're getting all of the vitamins, nutrients, minerals that you need. So let's have some fun with tips and trends. So how do you know what hair color is best for you? And I remember putting on a wig, both hair color and hairstyle, and went back in my old Minneapolis salon. And I put it on and I screamed. And I looked like Barbara Walters and my mom at the same time. And I threw the thing off my head and I thought, okay, wrong color, wrong cut. But here's some things to go by. Warm skin tones. Play with your skin. Play with the tones of your skin. Try not to do too much contrast right away unless you're wanting a really, really bold look. So if you have warm tones, play around with blondes that are softer, warmer, and kind of play in and accent your facial structure. And you can kind of see on this visual, she just has a really beautiful, kind of bright but honey blonde with her really beautiful warm skin. And then cool tones like ash or platinum, those are going to be blue-eyed, green tones, all of those kind of softer tones. But those tones can often actually pull off a little bit more of a warmer color. And then when you're shopping at the store or you're coming into a salon, it's really important to understand that if you're wanting to keep your natural color, you want to stay within one shade darker or lighter, and no more than 2 shades up or 2 shades down, because then you're going to extend having to come in and keep it up. And you know, you just kind of want to stay in the realm of what your natural tones are in the first place. So hair trends, bangs are coming back, micro fringe bangs specifically. So that just kind of really pixie cut with short fringy bangs is really cute and coming back. Face framing highlights. Now, this is a great option. Like if you're a mom, you're running around and you're super busy and you want to get some highlights in, but you just can't do a lot of upkeep, having some really soft highlights around the face is a great way to do that. And that's certainly in for the summer as well. And then again, going back to texture, that jagged edged bob, that really a lot of texture and shake is really in, which I love. I love a lot of texture and not, you know, precision. And then the bowl cut is precision and is back in with that fringe bang too. So a lot of short, we're really seeing movement away from these really, really heavy balayages and bringing those foils back up around the face. Women want to feel brighter around the face. They want to feel lightened and they want to have that body and lift up at the scalp as well. And then kind of what I'm sporting is the long bob, the lob. That will never go out of style. God bless you. Who brought this in? Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa has been many things for the beauty industry, but she brought that beautiful lob back in. So that is my presentation, a little bit of science, a little bit of story, and a little bit of fun. And so basically what I want to offer everybody is something I've never done before. And 2 weeks, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But here's the deal. I have access to my own hair color and I can color on my own hair. And if I didn't, I'd be like, boo, this sucks. And I want to be of service to anybody that wants to try natural hair color because I want them to experience the difference. I want them to have access to it at home. And I want them to be able to partner with someone that can support them on figuring it out. So what I would like to offer you is basically a bundle. And it's a bundle offer. And what you will get is my enzymes. So instead of peroxide, I use enzymes. Think of like little Pac-Men and little bubbles that open up the cuticle softly. And then they gently open up the cuticle and then they gently close the cuticle. So you're not slapping it open and getting in there and doing the biz. We're going to gently open up your cuticle, deliver the color. So you get your hair color and your enzymes. And then you also get my 3-part home care set, which is my replenish shampoo, conditioner, and my repair and protect spray. That is the UV and equal parts protein and moisture lipids in it, so you're not over keratinizing the hair and ending up dry, brittle, and breaking. You're also getting enough moisture with the UV protection. And then you'll get 20% off of that package. And then after, I call it Rona, after Rona is done and over, you certainly can come into the salon. I'd be happy to offer you $20 off a color and a cut. And we can kind of then sit down and really establish what's the best color for your face shape, your skin tone, longevity, and frequency of what you're wanting to do. I have other options at the salon. So if you're like, damn, I just don't have a lot of time, there's another option where I offer clients that are every 4 weeks that come and see me, or every 5 weeks to retouch and go. And what that means is they come in, I put the retouch on, and they go home and they wash it out. They'll go pick up their kids or whatever they need to do, so that every other color, if they're that frequent, they can cut down on the cost and time. And then that second appointment, then we do a full color. So those are really great options for you right now. And, I go back to the 80-20 rule. Good hair starts at home. And as I said, if you're buying a $6 shampoo from CVS, it's not the best maintenance for your investment. And it's not going to last as long as you would want it to with your hair color, or get the results that you would want. So I always say, our Evoke products are like an adaptogen for the hair and scalp. It takes down inflammation and it balances out where it needs to be. And it focuses on aging, hair growth, and repair. And so we also have a 3-part system for our natural hair growth system. But basically this, again, is the kit that you get: a wash, a rinse, and pH balancing with our hair color. It also helps prevent hair thinning and hair loss. And that's it. So that is my lovely presentation. And I'll go down here and I will stop share. And you can see me, but I can't see you. But it's good to be back with you. So we'll go ahead and everybody can turn on their little mics if you have any questions. I would love to answer any questions that you have. And I see some comments here. My scalp itches from, this is from Lisa, from Redken Hair Color. I've been concerned about the itchy scalp for a while.
Yeah.
So go into that a little bit more, Lisa.
Okay. I bombarded you with a lot of questions.
No, bombard me at all. It's so great to answer these questions because
this is my jam.
a jam.
Yeah.
So, are you applying your hair color at home, or are you applying it with a stylist?
With a stylist.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I notice a lot of scalp itching right after I get my hair colored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Redken can be known for that. So they're going to have a high amount of MEA in their color, and I'm not sure if do they have an ammonia-free line?
I'm not sure if they do.
Okay, so you could definitely check that out. But again,
Mm-hmm.
the problem isn't in the ammonia-free; it's what the silent substitutes are. But irregardless, it doesn't matter because you're actually having adverse reactions from it. And
Yeah.
so it could be many things. And I'll tell a client, it may not resolve all of it for you,
Mm-hmm.
but a large part of my clientele are specifically those clients that start seeing that start to happen. And one additional thing that I do for clients is, and if I sent you a color kit, I can do this for you and put it in there, is I have a scalp sensitizer. And so that helps kind of alleviate some of that itch, and it's natural, it's non-toxic. And that also helps. So clients that are a little bit more sensitive, again, we're using the enzymes, we're using the healthier color, and that are already kind of buffering you. And then I put an additional desensitizer in there for you to kind of help you with that itch on the scalp from the hair color. But it's very, very common. And I see it a lot with that brand.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Lisa also said, agree with you what you said about a beta. It went there for esthetology in
In 2006 I did. Yep.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, Horace did such an incredible job for the industry. He actually was kind of my mentor, and I got to go on many retreats with him. And when he started his whole other line, it was funny because when he was creating intelligent nutrients, he was a
Yes.
very smart man.
Yes.
He would have all of his top selling salon independents, he would award them to come out to his home. So we would go to his home, and then he'd offer us 3 days of yoga and really, really incredible food. And then he'd sit there and have us play with all of his new products and get feedback, and didn't tell us that he was creating a new line.
Oh, sorry, you cut out for a minute.
He would have us play with all of his new products.
Oh, sure.
He wouldn't tell us that he was creating a new line. So he's very, very smart businessman.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since Estee Lauder took over.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then how do you feel about Lanza? I use their shampoo and conditioner. So I don't know too much about Lanza. I am familiar with them, but I don't know, I'd have to look at their full ingredient deck.
Sure.
And take a look and see what they have. What I can say is that the Evoke product line is very much has high actives in it. So you don't need a lot. It suds up really, really, really nice. All of our essential oils are 100% essential oils. We don't cut it with half synthetics or limonene or, some of these other fillers that you'll find on the bottom of the ingredient deck. And so it's kind of like, when you go to a spa and you're somewhere at a retreat and you walk into their showers and you use their shampoo and conditioner, and it's free, so you use a lot of it.
Yes.
And It smells amazing. You're like, oh my God, this is so heavenly. Where do I have some extra containers to take these home with me?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
what
I've
our
done.
shampoo and conditioner feels like in the spa.
Okay.
It's like your own spot. So it feels amazing, smells amazing. You just have to try them. But we do have shampoo, conditioner, a spray, and then we also have a really beautiful silica shine serum that is completely weightless and doesn't build up or leave your hair greasy. So that's also an
Okay.
option. And then our hairspray has 3 different dials on it. It actually has, here, I'll show you. So this is an epic invention. So this is a bag and a can. And on the front, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's 3 different dials. So there's low, medium, and high. And it has the scent of lavender in it. So it's 100% pure lavender, no synthetics. And it just smells amazing. So that's an option as well.
Okay. Sure. Can you use other, because I still have quite a bit of shampoo and conditioner left, can you use that along with the hair color product?
Yes, you can, but I would
Yeah.
highly recommend bringing ours in because it does help balance out the pH
Okay.
with our color, and it's a really great option. So
Okay.
what
Sure.
I tell clients is I don't like to waste things.
Sure. Exactly.
Use your stuff every other. So
Okay.
if you get our bundle, then you can use the shampoo and conditioner, and then
Okay.
another one, and just go back and forth.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, good questions, girlfriend. Love it.
Thanks.
Really good. Really, really good. And then Gail, do you have any questions? Or Megan, do you have any other questions for me at this time?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have really super thick hair.
Okay.
And I haven't colored my hair at home for years now. But years ago when I did try and color it from home, I could never get all of it colored because I just have really super thick hair.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that. If with your product, I mean, do you provide enough depending on the amount of hair that somebody has, or is it just this one amount that comes? And yeah, curious about that.
Very good question. So with the color kit, what we'll want to do is get on the phone and allow me to see how much hair you have. Now I can see in your hair, you do have really dense hair in your picture. And so how much gray is kind of coming out for you?
Right now, probably, I'm not good with measures, but maybe half an inch or so.
Okay. Okay.
It's actually like pretty. I don't want to go gray yet, but I'm like, oh, the day that I go gray, I think I might be okay.
Yeah. So I would say we hop on a call and see how much gray you have. And then I can send you more color if you need it. Then we'll just have to boost you up. And maybe if you have somebody at home that can help you just apply it and get it in, that would probably be best. But I
Yeah,
can
my
do
husband
that.
used to help me years ago. Yeah, because of just how thick it is. But I mean, that is one thing that I love my hairstylist. She uses Paul Mitchell, so I'm sure you can tell me whether or not Paul Mitchell is good. I mean, I've never had any problems with it.
Yep.
I don't have an itchy scalp or anything, but that's what she uses is Paul Mitchell.
What
What I
color
love,
do you go in? Are you like a light brown?
yeah, I'm more of a light brown, and what I love about what she does is that she colors it to the point so that when my gray starts coming out, you can't see it as much, even though, I mean, definitely gray is a different color than light brown or a blonde or anything.
Yeah.
But he's really, really worked on doing that to help me with that. I usually get it colored every 5 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's full color maybe every 3 or 4 months, and a root touch up every 1 or 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes complete sense. So exactly the same thing. We would really want to find a color that's going to be pretty much on tone, that's going to be soft enough and light enough that's not going to make you go too dark, and help you with that grow out phase and just kind of, create a new consistency with the color that you have right now and what you've been doing and covering the gray. So yeah, that should be no problem.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Awesome. So any other questions? Otherwise, maybe if you could kind of either type in the chat or you can speak it in, if you want to just leave me maybe one takeaway that you took from today's presentation, that would be really helpful.
Well, I'll just say it was super informative on all the different things. I took a bunch of notes here.
Good.
Yeah, I took
Talking about
you, Gail.
ammonia and the resourcinol, the PPD. I mean, just and what you said about there's no such thing as organic hair color. Love to hear that, because I mean, have heard people talk about that. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a really great presentation, and really was great in helping us understand a lot about hair color, because I think majority of us know we probably shouldn't go to the store and get a box mix, but why shouldn't we get a box mix?
Yeah.
And we don't have time to sit and read through all the, material about why we shouldn't get a box mix. So it was nice to hear you go over all those things.
Yeah, you just never know what you're going to get. And, I think aside from just shopping in box dyes, I think we're really in a new era of how, if we're doing all these other things and we're working out and we're taking care of our health, or, it's just like, you can't do it all, but you can do little things when you become aware of them. So I think the more we become aware, the more we desire to have something healthier. And the thing is, my clients have been with me for a very long time, and I love them so much. And they don't have to come to me, but they choose to come to me. And we have relationships, right? So, there's another piece there. And, I want to, any new person that comes to me, I open up a conversation of, try it out, see how it goes, see how the relationship feels, see how you're serviced. Everybody has the choice to try different things. And, it's like me going to a different provider of something else. It's not like I'm saying I've never appreciated or don't appreciate what they've done. I'm just making a shift, and I have to make a decision that's best for myself. And if something's wanting me to try something different, then I need to really honor that. So there's always nuances, but I'd be happy to help you guys in any way, shape, or form I can, answer questions. And then what I would say is we can go ahead and we can get on a call. I will go ahead and make sure that if you guys could just go ahead and drop me your email address. And thanks so much, Marisa. She says very informative and validates why I love working with you. Thank you, my dear. I love you so much. And so if you guys just want to give me your email addresses, and then I will go ahead and shoot you over the offer. Otherwise, what I can do is I can go ahead and I can just drop the form in the chat link. Do you want me to just do that?
Yeah, that would be fine if you want to just drop the link.
Yep, I will go ahead and I'll drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay.
Drop it.
I also just sent you my email in
Perfect.
chat there too.
Perfect. Got it. I will capture that. And then, so this hair color formula kit, so basically, just go ahead and fill it out, and then that will let me know that you're interested. And then I will go ahead and set up a call with you, and we can just do a quick call and then make sure we have enough color for you, and then pick the right color shade. And then I will give you directions. So you'll get a hair color brush in there as well. So there is the form. Awesome, ladies. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I don't see the form in the chat.
So all panelists, you don't see it?
Do you want me to just send you my email, Cassandra? I can do that.
Yeah, why don't we?
Might need to select into attendees as well.
Oh, let me try that. No,
I think
still not showing.
Cassandra, if you type in to send it to all panelists and attendees,
Oh, okay.
I think then everyone will see it.
There it is.
Megan, Zoom coach.
So Cassandra, I just want to say thank you very much for doing this. I know I've come to you for many years, and I realized I typed this into when Lisa was talking into just so you could see it. but you're so knowledgeable, you're brilliant, and your service, we have a relationship in it. You're amazing. And I just totally believe in what you do and what you've done for my hair.
Thank you,
So
sweetheart.
thank you.
I got to keep you looking sassy, Mama. You got
Yeah.
to run and a kick-ass attitude to keep those ladies in shape. Love it.
Well, I will say her hair always looks great. So
She's such a cutie. Oh, I ain't giving you up, Meg. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much. I wish you a wonderful rest of the week. And Rona is going to be gone soon. And so just hang in there. And I'd love to help you out now and after. And I'll be in touch with you. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank